What's up, y'all? Guess who's back? This week's episode is called Need versus Greed. Y'all ready to see what Lauren's been up to? Go ahead and hit that stars app.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love power, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today when we're talking about Power Book 2 Ghost, Season 3, Episode 2, this is the recap. Now I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. And as I told you guys last night, this was definitely a more toned down episode and more of a story development type of an episode in my opinion. And Kane, he had a hell of a story development, right? He was not playing around. I did see some of you guys mention that he did more work than law enforcement. I mean, I don't know what they was doing, but we know Kane was not playing around. I mean, he was just listening to his pops. Lorenzo told him to find out what happened to Freaky Zeke, and that's exactly what he went out there and did. And Lorenzo was shook once Kane told him, look, I know what you did. I know the truth. You took out Zeke, and I'm not buying any of this stuff that you talking about. And Monet may do that, but not me. Your boy Lorenzo definitely was not expecting that, and Kane's been waiting to take the spot. He's been waiting to take that throne, and now he has the opportunity to, and he's going to use that truth against Lorenzo to get exactly what he wants. Y'all let me know what y'all think is going to happen with Kane this season. We already talked about his character description, and from the looks of it, he is definitely stepping up to the plate. And as I told you guys in that video, when Kane is not focusing on Tariq and he's focusing on what he really needs to do, he does a great job. So we're going to see if he's going to continue to do what he needs to do this season. And he told Lorenzo, I own you. Kind of reminded me of your girl Rock from Raising Kanan when she told Lulu she owned him. She destroyed that man back-to-back finale. So we're going to see what Kane going to do. Will he dominate in season 3 or will he slip up by the end of the season? But let's hop right into this recap. As I told you guys, I'm going to try to focus on the key points. If I miss anything, y'all let me know down below. Now the episode starts out with us finding out what really happened to your girl Lauren. Everybody wanted to know the details. If Effie helped with law enforcement, well, we knew this did not happen. I told you guys Effie had nothing to do with Lauren being, saved by law enforcement and working with Jenny Sullivan. That was not the case. She really believed she took out Lauren and drowned her, but she did not finish the job. So Effie's going to be shook when she realizes that she slipped up. Now Lauren better be glad that that guy came outside and walked his dog and he saw her car, because if he didn't, that means most likely Effie would have finished the job and Lauren would have been up out of here. Now Lauren wants to go home. She is telling Jenny Sullivan that, look, Effie was the one that did this to me. She even mentions Braden was the one that, was helping her out. But Jenny, she wants to get some more help with trying to get Tariq. And Lauren's like, look, I can't prove that Tariq had anything to do with it, and you don't either. And Jenny tells her, well, yeah, but she wants to continue to build up this case in order to take down not just Tariq, but the Tejadas, Effie, Braden, everybody. Y'all know she's trying to get this whole RICO case, but she needs more hardcore evidence. And she needs Lauren to continue to act like she's dead in order to protect her and her family. So that's what she's going to end up doing, but we know Lauren is upset because she really wants to leave. Now we know Noma was in Paris and she has Obi watching over operations, and we got Tariq, Braden, Effie, and Kane. They're there. They have to move all this weight. Obi, he don't like them at all. He cannot wait until they slip up. That's because he wants to take them out. But y'all know Braden, he wants to push this weight at Wall Street with Weston Holdings. Tariq ain't having it, and they do end up talking about that later on. Effie tells Kane, like, look, can those Jamaicans be trusted that he has working for him? And I was thinking the same thing. Do y'all believe they can be trusted? I honestly believe something's going to happen within that whole storyline. But y'all know Effie, she wants to push this weight because she needs to pay off those student loans. And as I told y'all, Braden believes the guys at Weston Holdings will be a good, target market to tap into, but Tariq ain't trying to do it. It makes sense on his behalf because he doesn't want, Braden's name being involved in any of this, especially after what happened at Stansfield. But we know later on in the episode, once Tariq sees how everything is going there, he's going to change his mind. Now, after Davis McLean has a conversation with Monet about Zeke, Lorenzo sees Zeke's box out there, and he says, you know what? I'm going to come up with a game plan to make it seem like someone else took out Zeke, and he thought he was going to cover his tracks, but we all know Kane finds out the truth, which messed up Lorenzo's game plan. Now, Cooper Sachs wants to know why Jenny Sullivan has not gotten any intel on Theo Rollins. She tells him he cannot pull his file because it's going to raise red flags, and she does not want to risk that, seeing how she's trying to build this whole Rico case up, and she wants some intel from Cooper Saxe. And she even tells him that I thought I was going to get some intel from my CI, and we know Cooper Saxe responds to her, which lets us know that Cooper Saxe is the CI. We already talked about this, and hopefully this can stop all the debates. And Cooper Saxe tells her she's going to need a lot more intel and evidence to prove that Tariq had anything to do with this in order to make this whole Rico case actually work. And she tells Cooper Saxe, well, this is what I need you for. Show me what you can do. And y'all know Cooper Saxe, he's going to try his best to try to see if he can get anything for her. Then we get to your boy, Rashad O'Dall, Tate, and Stephen Ott. Now, Stephen tells Rashad that his poll numbers ain't looking too good. And we learned that Rick Sweeney, he is taking the donors to the competition. So it ain't looking too good for your boy Rashad Tate, and he has to figure out what he needs to do. And he's talking about hiring a new intern that's going to be starting today. And we know Rashad Tate will be meeting up with Brayden to make that deal as far as getting the Weston family to have their donors support Rashad Tate. And we know Tariq will not be Rashad Tate's intern because Brayden is going to set it up to where Tariq worked for Weston Holdings. It was all part of his game plan. So he put in some work in this episode. Stephen Ott also tells Rashad Tate that he needs to make sure he gets a wife for this whole campaign and not the intern this time. So we're going to see how things play out with Rashad Tate and Professor Bennett this season. Now we get to Professor Bennett. It is time for class. Need versus greed. Y'all know how they do each and every season. And hell, each and every episode for the most part. We get the theme of the episode. And it was crazy because in the class, y'all let me know what y'all think. To me, it seems like Effie is like low-key trying to push Diana away from Tariq more and more. By telling her you should be, trying to get at Salim or whatever. That to me makes it seem like Effie is just trying to get her away from him. But Diana, I think she kind of peeped it later on in the episode. But we know Effie did give her some good advice because Salim did help her out with the book situation that she was having. But I do think it's going to be something with this whole storyline with Diana, Effie, and Tariq being in the same classroom. I think it will be some jealousy going on. Even though Salim will be Diana's love interest, y'all know Diana, she has not gotten over Tariq and she still has feelings for him. Now Brayden is able to get Chad fired. Y'all know he feels some type of way about how he was, being disrespectful to Kiki earlier on in the episode. And once he was fired, the dude was running his mouth. But your girl Kiki, she was happy as hell when she found out that Brayden was the one that did this. He ended up clapping those cheeks. But I'm going to tell you right now, she about her money. Brayden best to be watching her. I'm pretty sure she's going to be using him to get exactly what she wants. Hopefully Brayden notices this and does not slip up with her. Now, we get to your girl light skin, Keisha Busandria. She has got the internship with Rashad Tate. Tariq thought he was going to get it. He's pissed off. He was like, man, why did you give him my internship? Rashad Tate tells him, hey, he had to change things up because of Tariq's image. And he tells Tariq, like, look, you too hot right now. And he tried to work with him, but he cannot do it because of his campaign. And y'all know Tariq was pissed off. He's like, man, what about my course credit hours? What's going to go on with that? Rashad Tate's like, look, you a St. Patrick, you will figure it out. So your boy Brayden, he went into his bag to make this move. And I want to know how Tariq's going to respond to this once he realizes that Brayden was the one that did it. Now, Lorenzo is running his mouth to Kane, telling him he ain't working with Noma or anybody else that Kane is connected to as far as to being the plug. And he tells Kane if he wants him to listen to him, he needs to find out what happened to your boy Zeke. So Kane's like, okay, you want me to find out what happened? I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Say less. Because y'all know Kane believes he should be the one at the top and not Drew. And Drew is too busy messing around with Ev, which he tries to explain to Lorenzo. But it seems like Lorenzo doesn't give a damn about that. Now we get to Drew and Ev is talking about going to OKC. He's going to be having a signing day and he wants Drew to be there. But he cannot allow people to know that him and Drew are together. And Drew, he gets upset because Drew wants to let everybody know about the relationship, it seems, right? But Ev is like, look, this is about me. I need you to just be there for me. And then y'all know Drew says he will be there. Like I told y'all, Drew, he's entirely too focused on Ev. And the more time he spends doing that, the more mistakes that he's going to make in the organization. But when he's not focused on Ev and he's focused on the drug game, y'all already know what time it is. He does great. Now, we get to Evelyn. She makes a visit to Monet to check up on her and Lorenzo. And she's sorry about what happened to Zeke. And she ends up telling your girl Monet that Detective Kevin Whitman, he been snooping around, asking her questions about, Frank. and Evelyn tells her she didn't say anything to him. So now Monet knows this, Detective Whitman is all on her back and try to, get some intel on her. That way he can try to catch her slipping. And we know he's going to run into her later on in the episode. Now, Brayden convinces Tariq to come to Weston Holdings as an intern, and he tells him it would be a good opportunity for him since he's not going to be working with Rashad Tate. But we know Brayden was the one to set up the whole thing with Rashad Tate, and Tariq was pissed off. But Tariq does agree to go to Weston Holdings to see what Brayden is talking about. Now, Effie and Brayden have a conversation about Lauren. And Brayden, he's like, look, man, we need to tell Tariq right now. He is tired of holding this in. And Effie's like, no, we taking this to the grave. We are not telling Tariq anything, but we know Tariq will be finding out. But it goes to show you that Brayden really wants to tell him, but it's going to be too late when Tariq finds out because he's going to be pissed off at everybody. Now, we get back to Kane, and y'all know Kane was on one in this episode. He said, you know what? You want me to find out what happened to Zeke? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And he goes and he puts that pressure on the pilots. And he gets them to, give up some intel. I mean, like y'all said, he put in more work than all those detectives. He found out super quick on what really happened. And they was trying to, hold information from him. But once he started burning them up, they start talking. And they gave him intel about, a bald head guy, I believe like in a black jacket. They told him like the car had a tail light out. So he already knew what time it was right there. Like, okay, that got to be Lorenzo, but he wanted to see what Lorenzo was going to be on later on in the episode, which he ended up catching him in a lie and confronting him. Now, we get to Tariq and Brayden, and we see Nick. Now, Nick, he works there, and he is the guy that's supplying the product at Weston Holdings. And this is a guy that they're going to have to take out because they need to push product there, and his pipeline is the pipeline that they want, and he's in the way. Now, we get to Brayden's dad. He's pissed off that Tariq is there, but Brayden tells him, all that stuff about the drugs at Stansfield, that was on me. You know what I'm saying? Tariq had nothing to do with it, and you cannot, discriminate against him. And basically, they made it seem like everything was just racist towards Tariq, so you got to make sure he works here. And y'all saw your boy Trace. He was running his mouth talking about, oh, man, so does that mean we got to celebrate Juneteenth? I mean, this dude Trace was on one in this episode. All he was doing was laughing at everybody getting into trouble. I mean, he doesn't really do no work at all. He just jokes around, snorts coke, and goofs off, which is probably the life for him. Then we get to your girl Effie. We know she was supposed to be pushing the product at the Ivies, and that's exactly what she was doing. She had all of it lined up, and it seems like she's adding to the product in order to stretch it out. Your girl Effie, she got her own agenda. You already know at the end of the episode how she was planning out Course Perfect. So we're going to see how that goes and how everybody feels about her new strategy to run this new app. Now, we get to Monet and Detective Kevin Whitman. And he was on one. And he wasn't playing around. He told her that he seen her on the traffic cam around Carrie Mirgram's spot. So he knows she was around that area. And he also tells her that Zeke came to him. And he believes that she has something to do with Carrie Mirgram's death. And he tells her, like, look, I know you was getting your cheeks clapped by Officer Ramirez. I know. And he ain't here to protect you this time around. She was pissed off. But he says, look, of course he can't prove it. He knows what she did. But he's going to continue to try to get her. And he's not going to stop. See, that's his first mistake. Why would you go to her being that aggressive, telling her what you're going to do? Now they're going to put the pressure on you and try to get you up out of here. The way that you're moving, it doesn't end well for people like that. Y'all let me know what y'all think is going to happen to Detective Kevin Whitman. Now, Monet, she's pissed off. She calls Devis McLean to see if he can help her out. He tells Cooper Sachs to check up on Jenny Sullivan and see if he's working with her because he cannot be harassing people. And he also tells Cooper Sachs he needs to go ahead and continue to be working to find out what's going on with his brother Theo Rollins. But y'all know Cooper Sachs, he couldn't get that intel because Jenny could not pull his foul because she didn't want to raise any red flags. So we're going to see what your boy Cooper Sachs is going to be on. But he does tell Jenny Sullivan that Detective Kevin Whitman is most likely watching Mecca's penthouse, which she already knew this intel. And y'all saw how she looked behind her back because she wants to make sure that Blanca does not know that Cooper Sachs is her CI. So a lot of people keep asking this question about, oh, she said she had a CI within the organization. She has to tell Blanca that. She has to throw her off. Remember, Blanca and Cooper Sachs, they have a lot of history, y'all. A whole lot of history. They hate each other. So the last thing that Jenny wants is for her to know that Cooper Sachs is her CI because that's going to throw everything off. And most likely, she's probably not going to even want to work with Jenny. But Jenny is willing to do whatever it takes to make sure she gets this whole Rico case to go down, and she cannot afford for anything to mess that up. And even though Cooper Saxe is not technically a part of the criminal organization, he is right there. He is close enough to be able to get some intel, so it makes him a great CI, and this is why he told her he is willing to give her information. Now, your boy Brayden sets up another game plan for Tariq to see what's really going on at Weston Holdings, so he sends Kiki the message about having Tariq set up for the meeting. Tariq goes in there and he sees these guys. I mean, look at them. They in there snorting it up, having a good old time, straight smoked out. And he understands, like, man, Brayden was right. These guys is on one, and maybe this will be a good market to tap into. They end up meeting up later on in the episode, and they start talking more details about what needs to happen. And Tariq does the numbers, and he understands that they can move pretty much all of the weight at Weston Holdings Wall Street, and they can kill the game. So it seems like that's exactly what they're going to do, but they have to take care of the pipeline issue, which we know is that guy Nick, and they're going to end up getting Drew to do that because Kane was too busy. Now, Drew, I believe, is on his way to meet up with Ev for his signing day or whatever, but then he runs into this GTG member, one of the guaps, and he beats Drew down. He tags GTG on his back, and he disrespects him. He spits on him. I'm like, man, this dude caught a beat down, and y'all know he was pissed off. He told his family that he got jumped, and Drew was like, man, how did this dude even know I killed Little Guap? So y'all know Lorenzo set all of this up, and he gave him the intel and paid him off. And Kane tells Lorenzo that I told you Drew was not ready. And Lorenzo tells him they're being targeted by the Guaps, and whoever did this to Drew, they did this to Zeke too. And he wants your boy Kane to track him down. And Kane, he sees that box that has Zeke's name on it, and he understands later on in the episode when he catches the guy, he gets that ring, and he knew that Zeke was not even wearing that ring at all. So this is how he knew that Lorenzo was just straight up lying to him, and we know he confronted him at the end of the episode. Now, Salim is able to get Diana a job at the Stallion Stop candy store on campus, and it should help her pay off books. Plus, she gets free candy. Now, do you guys believe Diana is going to be trying to, push drugs in this store? I did see some of you guys mention that. Well, we're going to see. I know Dirty Diana is definitely going to have some tricks up her sleeve, but it was kind of funny once Tariq and Effie walked up in there and she went into the back to peep on them. And I know she's upset because Effie was the one that was telling her to stay away from Tariq because he's going to hurt her. And you can tell Diana has some feelings about that. Like, man, she telling me to stay away from him, but she kicking it with him or whatever. I'm going to tell you right now, this whole storyline between all of them is definitely going to blow up. And I cannot wait to see how Diana is going to play all of this out. Now we get to Brayden and Rashad Tate. And Brayden has made a deal. He has paid him off in order to get Tariq not to be his intern. And we know Brushandria, she will be the intern. And he's able to get Rashad Tate, those donors from Weston Holdings. So he has the Weston name back in his campaign. So now it seems like Rashad Tate's, poll numbers just may go up and he's good. But y'all know Tariq will be pissed off when he finds out the truth. It's just another secret that Brayden's going to have over him. But man, this was a hell of a move. Brayden is doing whatever he got to do to make sure Tariq works with him. And he knew Tariq would be good once he saw how them guys was addicted to those drugs at Weston Holdings. Then we get to Jenny Sullivan, Detective Kevin Whitman, and Blanca Rodriguez. Now, even though Detective Kevin Whitman was going crazy, it seems like his craziness has worked because he has connected dots. And we know Officer Ramirez is connected to Monet, and they know Monet is connected to Dante Spears. And now they can link everything together as far as her being a part of this whole criminal organization. And they said that having this information is going to give them the green light to start this criminal, task force or whatever. So it seems like everything is going good for them. They just have to continue to get this evidence, and they got to hope and pray that nobody messes up their investigation. But as I told y'all, once Jenny Sullivan Dirks comes out about Cooper Saxe, that may change things up. And then we don't know what's going to happen with Lauren. I mean, that can mess things up as well. We shall see. Now, Kane catches the guy that beat down Drew, and he gets Drew's chain, and he gets Zeke's ring. And now he understands, like, okay, Lorenzo was the one that did this because he knows about Zeke in that ring, and he knows he didn't wear it. Now, Ev breaks things off with Drew. He is tired of all the flip-flopping. Drew was telling him he got beat up. I mean, look at his face. But Ev ain't trying to hear it at all. He tells him he wanted him to be there at his signing day and that he's moving to OKC, and maybe that his parents is right, that they should not be seeing each other. And he pretty much just ends it, telling Drew that he does not want to see him again. But Drew was fighting, but it didn't work. And y'all know Drew, he was heartbroken. Drew gets the text about, Kane not being able to show up. So now Tariq and Brayden, they need him to take out that pipeline issue that they had with Weston Holdings with that Nick dude. Now, Drew, he wasted no time at all. I mean, he was pissed off and he's following him. And once he saw the opportunity, he pushes the dude straight into traffic right in front of that big truck. And the dude got took out instantly. I'm like, dang, Drew was not playing around. But this is what I'm talking about. All Drew got to do is focus on one thing, which is the drug game, and he's going to dominate. He has to choose what he wants to do, because if he flip-flopping, he's going to make a lot of mistakes. Now, we get to Kane, Monet, and Lorenzo, and they have this guy hemmed up. He was talking about how he was hired, and he ain't did nothing. And Monet, she don't give a damn. She smokes this dude because Lorenzo kept saying he did it. He did this to Zeke. And once Kane put out Drew's chain in Zeke's ring, Monet lost it. She could not hold it in, and she got rid of him. But y'all know Kane just going along with the game plan. He will confront Lorenzo at the end of the episode. Now we get to your boy Cooper Saxe. He's in Davis McLean's office, and he gets that burner phone, and he's able to get Monet's number. He takes a picture and he calls the number right before, and we know Monet, she answers and she tells him this is not a good time to be calling her. She took care of everything when it comes to Zeke. So now your boy Cooper Saxe understands what Davis McLean has been doing as far as working with Monet Tejada. And you already know he's going to take this intel back to Jenny Sullivan, trying to see if she can figure something out. But man, this is very risky. I did notice Cooper Saxe deleted the call log. So when Davis McLean goes back into the phone, he's not going to know Cooper Saxe called her, but maybe Monet's going to tell him, did you call me last night because you just hung up? Something's going to happen. This whole game plan that Cooper Saxe is doing is very risky. And like I told y'all, I'm pretty sure he's going to go back to Jenny Sullivan and say that Monet Tejada probably killed somebody when it comes to Zeke. And I want to know how she's going to respond to that. Now we get to your girl Effie, and as we can see, she has made a new app, Course Perfect, not Course Correct. She has made another app, and now it is time to see if her app is going to work. We know what Brayden did in last season. This time around, she wants to take it and maybe, improve it and do better. But she did not share the app. She probably wants to tweak out a couple things before she does. But we know Tariq does come in and tell her that everything's going to be good as far as the whole Weston Holdings. And we end up seeing that they have made some business cards. Weightlift W's is the name of it. And it says first session free. So we're going to see what Brayden and Tariq come up with. We know based off these trailers, they definitely going to be dominating. Hopefully, they don't get catch slipping. Now, we get to the end of the episode, and Kane Tejada, he said, you know what? I'm taking over the episode. I've been seeing some of you guys say that Kane was the MVP of the episode, and hell, the way he was moving, that's exactly how he needs to be moving. When he's not worrying about Tariq, when he's focused on the task at hand, he gets things done. Now, he does confront Lorenzo about the truth. Lorenzo was kind of trying to deny it, but once he brought out the facts, Lorenzo couldn't do anything but say, hey, it was a mistake. He did not mean to do it. He would never hurt Monet like that. And Kane gives him a hug, and he was acting like everything was good, but Kane was like, nah, it ain't good. You gonna push this weight, because if you don't, Monet gonna find out about what you've been doing. And he tells Lorenzo, like, look, I own you, right? He had a Rock from Raising Kanan moment, because y'all know Rock, man. She destroyed Lulu. And if y'all go back to the episode, she made him feel so horrible. So Kane decided to pull out his inner Rock out of him. I don't know how he found it, but he pulled it out of him. And now he has taken control of the throne. And Lorenzo, all he can do is sit back and agree and go along with the game plan. And as I told y'all, when Kane doing what he got to do, when he's not being annoying or whatever, he's solid. You know what I'm saying? He's very solid. But we know once Drew does get on task, it's going to be some competition. And y'all know Drew will be his competition this season. We're going to talk about Drew's character this week. So I want you guys to stay tuned for that video. And also, we will be talking about Brayden's love interest. But do you guys believe what Effie was talking about as far as Kane trusting those Jamaicans? Will something happen with that? Because I got a feeling, even though Kane is killing it and he's doing good right now, y'all know he will be faced with some issues. There's going to be some challenges that's going to come his way. And we're going to see if he's going to be able to get through it. But Kane will have that top spot when it comes to the Tejada throne, because we know Lorenzo, his days are numbered. It's just a matter of time before he's taken out. And once that happens, the pressure is really going to be on Kane to step up as far as, doing what he has to do for the family. But y'all leave y'all theories, predictions, leave it all down below. We're going to continue to talk about Power Book 2 Go Season 3 very soon. But I want to thank you guys once again for all the love, all the support, and I will catch y'all on the next one. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.